Hey, what up, guys? This is Anime Rex here, and but first, before we get started, I'd like to thank you for 93 subscribers, like in 5 days. You guys are crazy. But seriously, thank you for liking my videos, watching them, and subscribing to my channel. I really hope you keep liking my videos in the near future and my ideas I post. Also, I would like to tell you one more thing. From March 10th to the 19th, I might not upload because my final exams are on and between those days. So, yes, um, as I said, I might not upload. I could, there's a 80% chance I won't upload and the 20% chance I'll upload. Sorry about that. I'm really sorry. But these are my finals, so, gotta finish them. Well, before we get started, quick shameless plug-in. If you're watching this right now, please watch till the end. Like this video, subscribe um, to this anime nerd doing nerdy videos, and let's get started with the what if. At Issei's home. It had been a month since he joined Rias's Praj. Issei, lying on the sofa, watching a movie. This is quite the big place you have here, Issei-sama, Tannen said with a surprised voice. Issei opened his eyes only to see Tannen's face close to him. Wah! Issei stated and promptly fell on the floor. Thud. Ouch! Tannen! Please don't come out whenever you feel like it, Issei laying on the floor. Ever since he had Tannen as his familiar, life had been more livelier. Tannen would appear in front of him not wearing anything when he was in the shower or while taking one. She would sometimes sneak into his bed while he was asleep. That was. She would sometimes sneak into his bed naked. That would always shock Issei every single time whenever he woke up. Occasionally, she would chat with Drake inside his head, but mostly end up in an argument. Oh, come on, Issei-sama. It's not like you can do anything about it. Tannen started to tease Issei as she sat on the same spot Issei was. Her current attire was a blue-colored loose t-shirt and short black jeans. I really can't do anything about it, huh? Issei thought. He said he currently was brainstorming. Nope, I got nothing. He sighed and as he could no longer come out of any situation. Issei-sama, I would like to ask you, how did you acquire such a massive palace hidden inside this barrier? Even I couldn't sense it. Tannen questioned. Well, this was previously my parents' place, and it's normal for me, Issei replied. Well, do you mind elaborating? Requesting Issei to explain further. Promise not to tell anyone until, I reveal my secret, Issei said in a serious voice. That is a promise, Tannen said. Issei says, while looking at the picture of his parents that appeared in the photo frame around the castles. When there was nothing before, Tannen widened her eyes at, whom she saw Issei standing beside. She needed some few minutes to, what do you call, for the shock to go away, and Issei continued. Well, yes, my parents are Meliodas and Elizabeth. Before you ask anything, like how I'm alive, is because I was sealed into a time-sleeping coffin. Issei answered solemnly, looking at the picture. This first part is a little scripted, but the rest won't be scripted. So yeah, it took way too long for me to do it, so yeah, I'm not gonna script it. Well, you really are something else, Issei-sama. Literally, Tannen replied. Um, There was a few moments of silence. Tenant, do you mind answering a question of mine? Issei said in a serious voice. Not at all. Ask away. Tenant replied. Is it possible for a this devil to see at a distance through the eye of his or her familiar? Tenant widened her eyes at her master's question and narrowed them back as she answered. It is possible. Why do you ask, boy? Issei decided to his tell his familiar. Well, last month after coming to the forest of the familiars, I noticed last month after coming from the forest to the familiars to the OC Occult Research Club, I noticed a red eagle, which I knew was a phoenix. It watched Buncho's every movement. I caught it, but it disappeared into a burst of flames. I suspect it's one of the Phoenix House members. Also, Bunchos is acting more weird and smiling a lot less, Issei said in a concerned voice. Issei-sama, you're really kind. You show a lot of respect to girls. You tend to also look after the people you care about. Mm. Issei blushes. Ten, as Tannen praises him. Seeing Issei's blush on it, seeing the blush on Issei's face, Tannen had only one thought. The blush was really adorable. No homo do. Hey, haenge do. Um, thanks, Issei replied, stuttering a little. Well, we should go to sleep. Tomorrow is. Well, I should go to sleep. Tomorrow is school. Morning. Issei again found a sleeping naked Tannen next to him. He blushingly, silently shifted, trying not to wake her up, making breakfast, finishing wearing his uniform, and teleporting near to the school gates, where he went into the normal, where he went, where class went as normal as they could when a bunch of thirsty girls were behind you. At the Occult Research Club, Rias asked, well, does anyone have a private place where we could discuss the number of packs we all have altogether this month? Issei replied first. Well, I have one. Um, are you sure that place is private? Rias questioned. That's the most private place I could ever find, Issei replied. Um, Ria said in a confused voice, well, can you show us? Ria said, of course. Let me teleport all of us. They teleport to a very big hallway, it looked like. Rias asked, Issei, what is this place? And why is it so big? Well, this is my castle. Glass shatters. When they all heard that, they were like, what? They started to ask Issei questions on how he acquired this castle. Issei replied to them as he said to Tenant, well, it was my parents' castle, so I originally inherited it from them. Uh, this is a very big castle. Um, very, very, very actually big castle. Since they started to explore the castle, and Issei gave them a tour, of the castle and whatnot. I'm not gonna go into the castle in depth, but let's just say it was 10 times bigger than the 3-story mansion they had. That on the original series, where everything, got rebuilt, his house. So yes, well, that's the entire castle. Everybody trying to wrap their heads around, Issei living in such a big castle. Issei, why didn't you show this to us before? Ria said in a questioning tone. Well, you never asked, so. Or you never even question where I live, so. I mean. And it kind of gets lonelier because the place is too big. Well, then Asia chimed in. Um, well, if Issei-san feels lonely, then I can keep him company here and live here with him. Uh, Asia said blushingly. Asia said blushing, her face getting her face getting hotter. Well, thanks. I'd appreciate it. It'd bring me some company too. I mean, do you guys also want to come and live here with me? Issei offered. Well, I mean, this castle is very big, and for one person, I think it's a little too much. How do you keep this entire place clean? Kiba asked. Well, let's say there is magic on this castle that keeps the castle clean 24/7. So you don't have to worry about making a mess ever in the castle. And you can shift your things whenever you want, so. And you're always welcome here. Well, let's go on to the dining hall, where we can discuss about the packs. Well, Rias replied, sure. Um, they all first of all brought. Well, you can bring your things here first. Well, they teleported to everybody's house, got all their belongings, teleported it back. Issei showed them their rooms, which had a very large living room. Each room had a very large living room to their cells, with a TV and every modern facility anybody would need. Second, there was a very large bedroom, which, you know, had a study table, a very large bed at the corner in the middle of the room, a cupboard, and where you can keep all your clothing, and multiple bookshelves, very big bookshelves actually. Also, there was one more thing, and there was a shower slash bathroom where you can go to, do your business or take a bath or shower. It was very huge in every room. Every room was built the same except, the master bedroom, which they, found out that that belonged to Issei's parents. So they obviously thought it would be bigger than everyone. And nobody thought of taking it because, as, atonements for Issei's parents. They asked about who Issei's parents were, but he was like, um, can we not talk about it right now? It's kind of big, so I'll reveal it, when I'm comfortable and when I see the right time. They all thought, okay, I mean, we don't want to invade his personal privacy way too much. So that's what they did. And yes, you know, the day went as normal, and everybody hanged out, had fun, and they went on to discussing. Well, this year's what do you call what God for sake God's sake, this year's you know what do you call sorry guys, I'm really sorry for stopping right there. Let me rethink it. Yes, this month's packs. Well, this month's packs, Issei has the highest, which surprised everyone since he was the second newest person to this barrage. Um, Issei has the highest with 128 packs. Next is Konoko with 114 packs. Then is Konoko with 98 packs. Then is Kiba with 77 packs. And then is Asia with 38 packs. Well, this year's packs are divided a lot. I can see why Asia didn't get as many packs as she is not as well known, but um, Issei, I'm really surprised at yours. Well, you have good reviews on your packs, and you also do a good job at them. Um, well, okay. Well, um, wow. I did not expect that. I knew I did good, but not this good, Issei replied, you know, blushing at Rias's compliment a little. All the girls inwardly blushed, seeing Issei's blush. Um, well, now that we're done with it, by the way, you want, should, I can, you know, well, it's dinner time, Issei looking at his watch in his hands. So, who's gonna make dinner? Rias asked. Or Asia asked, sorry. I can make some. Wait, you can cook? Everybody was like, yeah, I can. Well, I'd like to see how your cooking tastes. With pleasure. Issei went to cooking in the kitchen and brought out some very fancy dishes. Lobster tails, crabs, um, um, beef with mashed potatoes on the side, and what do you call, um, a very, what was that? I'm not Gordon Ramsay, but yeah, I know a little how to describe a dish. Holy hell! But yes, sauce. What do you call? I forgot what. Whatever. Yeah, let's just say it was 5-star class food that Issei made. You know, at night, they talked a lot. And they all went to sleep at 11 a.m. 11 p.m. Sorry. Well, let's all go to sleep, Issei said. It's already getting late and we have to go to school tomorrow. Everybody went to sleep. Rias was thinking about one thing. By the way, they have gotten a lot more closer, in these past weeks. Yes, I am being serious. They have gotten a lot closer in these past weeks. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. Rias, um, Konako, Akano, Sia, Kiba, Issei. They've been built like a best friend bond between everyone. And they all sleep. Ria sneaks into Issei's room and, well, first, Issei was sleeping on his bed, sleeping, um, you know, evening, sleeping in his room, thinking about, is Buncha being targeted by the Phoenix house? Normally, you would count this as stalking, right? Issei thought. Issei widened his eyes at realizing he had made a mistake. He left his upper body up at sight of his bed. Bad. Sorry, his bad side. His upper body uncovered while handling the bird. Crap! If what Tennant said was true, then that means whoever the Phoenix Master is, he saw me, Issei cursed himself for not realizing it sooner. He's, he scratched the back of his head. For me to make this kind of mistake. Ah, God. Suddenly, um, the floor on Issei's room suddenly glowed. No, Issei's door opened. Issei's door, no, somebody knocked at Issei's door. Um, well, come in, Issei said. Buncho, what are you doing and what are you doing? What do you want? You know, um, Rias had a sad, worried, and desperate expression on her face. She then said something shocking to Issei. Please make love to me, Ria said. Issei started to blush heavily. What? I want you to take my virginity immediately. Cuckoo, cuckoo. The steam engine thing. Steam was coming out of Issei's ears. Why? Issei stuttered. Yeah, please. I'll get ready soon. Ria said that as she was taking off her uniform. But, Buncho, why? Issei getting really confused as he started to panic. Please, Issei, I thought about all different kinds of methods, but this was the only way left. What do you mean, the only way left? Please stop stripping. Issei paled. He wanted to escape so badly, but his curiosity made him stay. Rias took off her bra, not listening to Issei pleading. Poor man's gonna get hard. I'm just kidding, he ain't. Leaving her panties, she walked towards him and got onto his bed. I thought about asking you to, but I guess he wouldn't do it. He's a pure knight after all. This is why I came to you. Rias closed the distance between Issei and her. I can't do it. Issei was trying his best not to let the blood flow out of his nose. He gave himself a pat on the back for not passing out, for seeing his master naked in front of him. Rias gritted her teeth as she heard that. She became even more desperate and shouted, Why? Aren't I good enough, Issei? Issei widened his eyes as he saw the tears building up in Rias' eyes. Issei clenched his hand tight as he saw that. No, that's not that. You're beautiful. You are. But this isn't right. You're not the Buncho I know. This Buncho I know always smiles, always focuses on her task. What happened to you since last month? You're acting weird. You smile less and you space out more of the time. You space out more. I, are you worried about something? Issei said out loud while he was putting his hand on Rias' shoulders. Rias widened. Rias' eyes widened at what Issei said. Tears then started to fall from her eyes to her cheeks. Issei picked up his blanket and covered Rias up. Wait here for a while. Issei exited his room, looking around and sighed, feeling relieved that Asia was still asleep. Issei, they all was sleeping, next to each other's rooms. And then went to the kitchen to make a hot cup of hot chocolate. He brought it in his room, seeing as Rias was still sitting on his bed and in the blanket cover. Here, drink this. It'll make you feel better. He gave the hot chocolate to Rias. Thank you. Rias blushed as she accepted the beverage. It's good, Rias, with a small smile, took a sip. Issei smiled at Rias' smile. He sat on the floor, looked at his master. He chose his words carefully. Buncho, you want to talk about it? It's okay if you choose not to. I won't force you. Rhea smiled again and looked down straight. You really are kind, Issei. I'm sorry for what I did earlier. Issei said, It's okay, scratching the back of his head and blushing as he remembered what he saw. I'm engaged, Rhea said tiredly. Issei widened his eyes at the spoken words and remained quiet and listened. His name is Riser Phoenix. At that moment, Issei thought, like I suspected, so he was a stalker. If he's his fiance and he's stalking her right now, he'll be coming here sooner or later. I suspect. That's what he was thinking in his head. Called her, fiance's name while disgust, as if the name was a taboo to her. He's the third son of the Phoenix clan. Further, what do you call? Further, what do you call? Helping Issei's investigation on who was spying on his master, which was ranked Duke, uh, which was ranked Duke like Grammary clan. Their clan have the power to um, equivalent to legendary creatures, the immortal bird phoenix. My parents set me and him up for an arranged marriage in order to bring together two clans and to preserve the bloodline of pure blood devils. You know, they are the line of the pure blood devils, but they are like really low powered pure blood devils, not like the original pure blood demons. You know, original pure blood devils of left of the demon original demons. Rhea spoke with a sad smile. A phoenix familiar. Of course. So Riser, Phoenix, eh? So that's it. That was his familiar. I never wanted to marry that man, Rhea stated, gripping the empty cup in her hands tightly and gritting her teeth. Puncho, why are you so against the marriage? What makes you dislike your fiancé so much? Issei questioned. It's because I'm a grammary, restated to show a sad face. Ever since I was born in the devil, and I'm a devil from the house of grammary. The name follows me whenever I go. I see. So Buncho has this burden on her back all this time. Issei closed his eyes as he listened. Everyone in the Devil Society looks at me as Rias from the Grammary, not as Rias. That's why I came to the human world. Because everyone sees me as who I am and not Rias from the Grammary. That's why I really enjoy my life in the human world. I wanted to be with someone who loved me as Rias without the fact that I'm a Grammary. That's what I want. But that man, he's the same as everyone. He only looks at me as Rias from the Grammary. He only loves me for Rias from the Grammary. I hate it. I really do. Ria's currently shaking. Her eyes were shut tightly as her tears were coming out of her eyes. She, she's crying. Ria's Grammary, for the first time in her life, cried in front of someone, feeling emotionally overwhelmed. Issei was quiet for the whole time. He stood up and closed a bit distance between Rias. Issei. Issei was quiet. He bent down his knees and reached at Rias's level. He, ra- he raised and put his right hand on Rias's hand. Rias started to blush as Issei's face was getting closer. Her eyes widened and felt Issei's forehead touch her. That they touched each other's foreheads. She blushed even further as she felt his warmth. He closed his eyes and smiled. He closed his eyes and yeah, sorry. And then he spoke seriously in a gentle voice to Rias. I like Rias as Rias, not as Rias from the Grammary. I'm still new here, and I'm still new in the Parage, so I cannot tell how much of a burden you had to carry. But I'm your for now, Rias. I'm your pawn, and I'll always stand by your side. Support your decisions, and I'm willing to carry the burden for you the rest of my life. This is kind of a mini confession. Tell me if you like it. I'm putting a lot of work into this one. Ria's widened her eyes even more. Tears were starting to flow out of even her eyes even more. She hugged Issei tightly, not wanting to let him go. Issei, my cute Issei, thank you. Thank you for being here. You know, the classic. Shh. Issei shushed her. Issei shushed her. What was that accent? Whatever. I'll always stay by your side, Rias. That's why. No more crying. There has to be another way that I can help you. I'll find a way. I promise. Issei hugged her back and rubbed Rias's head gently to placate her. To what do you call? What do you call? They remained in the position for a few minutes. Are you feeling better, Buncho? Issei asked, looking at Rias's gasped and blushing face. He was addressing her as Buncho again. Yeah, Rias, Rias tihied, the classic tihi. Rias giggled. Issei tilted his head as he readjusted the blanket that was covering her. Um, just now you called me Rias. Can you call me Rias? Rias smiled warmly as she closed her eyes, replying to the scenario in his head. Scenario in her head. Oh, sorry for that, Buncho. I just went with the flow. Issei started to panic, knowing not what to do. It's okay, Issei. I want you to call me by my first name more often next time, okay? You know, let's say this is kind of an act, okay, see. He's used to saying Buncho all the time, so that's why he's actually blushing a little and panicking, when he said Rias. He's not like, oh God, I'm lower than her in status or whatever. It doesn't matter, it's just his emotions. That's what I'm saying. Plus, he's not had, all that. He's not experienced all of these emotions, so this is his first time. Really? Really? Sure? Are you sure about that? Issei blushed. Rias nodded happily. Well, at least she's back to her normal self. That's good. Issei smiled as he saw Rias smile again. Suddenly, the floor to Issei's room started to shine again. A magic circle appeared, and Rias looked at it in slight disgust. A beautiful silver-haired young woman in her late 20s, wearing a maid uniform. The maid stepped forward and spoke silently after seeing Issei and Rias. Are you trying to break the arrangement by doing something like this? Issei thought, did she mean sex? Raising an eyebrow. If I don't go that far, both Oto-sama and Oni-sama wouldn't listen to me. Oto-sama means father and Oni-sama means big brother. The maid spoke again. Both Serzek-sama and the master would become sad after they found out that you tried to give your purity to some lowly person like this. She didn't know, Issei, so yeah. Did she? Don't you dare call my servants lowly. He was there for me when I was at my lowest. I won't forgive you, even if it's you, Grafia. Also, my purity is mine and mine alone. I won't. I. It, what's wrong if I want to give it to someone I acknowledge? Issei placed his hand on Rias' shoulder, trying to tell her to calm down. He then gave her a weak smile and shook his head, meaning that he didn't mind being called a lowly person, even though deep down his pride was hurt. The maid called Grafia widened her eyes, seeing the young man was able to placate Rias that easily. She then bent down and picked up Rias's bra. Anyways, You're the next heiress of the House of Grammary, so please don't show your skin to a man recklessly. Even more so in your current engage even so more when you're currently engaged. Rias put on Gracia made Rias put on her bra, while Issei turned around to look at the wall while with his back facing them. He knew it was rude to look at them. We're done, Rias said. Are you covered in the blanket? Are the covers in the blanket yet? I cannot face you if you're not. Issei spoke, still not willing to look at them. Issei Rias picked up the blanket from the floor and covered herself. Okay, you can turn around now. The young man turned around, looking at Grafia, and introduced himself. Oh, Grafia introduced herself. Hello, I'm the maid of that serves the Grammary House, and my name is Grafia. Pleasure to meet your acquaintance. She bowed and her head down. Issei bowed his head in response. I'm Issei Hiro, Rias' pawn. Please, nice to meet you. You're Issei, the Red Dragon Emperor? Rias actually told her brother about this, so that's how Grafia knows it. After the thing. He was quite intrigued in this mysterious new pawn who took all 8 pawn pieces of her sister, so that's why he asked. Grafia, we can discuss this next time. Ria's changing the topic quickly to not let it proceed further. Let's go back to my room. I'll listen to what you have to say over there. Akuno can also attend, right? Rias picked her clothes and wrapped them around her hand, covering her frontal part. The Priestess of Thunder? She questioned Grafia. I don't see why not. After all, the high-class devils must always have their queens by their sides. Very well, Issei. Issei turned his head and heard Rias call him. Rias put her hand over Issei's cheek, not wanting him to escape on what she was about to do. Issei widened his eyes as he felt something warm crash onto his lips. Both Grafia and Issei widened their eyes. Rias was currently kissing him. Issei started to panic. Why wouldn't he? The maid was that maid that served the Grammary House was right next to him. Rias spoke nervously as she broke apart. That was my first kiss. It's something a girl treasures in Japan, right? Issei currently had steam coming out of his head. His brain had frozen over. That was your first kiss? What have I done? Issei started to blush heavily and panic a little bit, stuttering too. Rias giggled. Think it as a reward. I wanted to give you a thank you for you being with me at my lowest. Rias giggled. Issei's blush darkened. Okay. Issei replied sheepishly, taking a peek at Grafia. Grafia was standing silently, her expression completely neutral and non-existent, and her Ojo-sama to kiss one of her servants on the lips. I'll see you tomorrow, Issei. Ria stated warmly. She then, along with Grafia, teleported. Issei still frozen. Okay. That kiss will wake me up. 1 second. 1 second, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. I'm really sorry about that, guys. That was my mom coming in. Okay, so let's start it again. Where was I again? Yes. Well, that's going to wake me up for the rest of the night. Touching his lips while sleeping on his bed. The first year classroom. Issei yawned on his seat while looking out of the window. He was right all along. That kiss from last night really prevented him from sleeping. Right now, he was having great time. Issei-kun, he heard Kiba calling. Turned his head and waved at Kiba, uh, sitting on both of their seats, carrying, opening a bag and walking, sitting. Asia, I'll be going first. You can you see, you can what do you call, come later after you finish your lunch. Asia replied, hi, and I'll see you later, Issei-san. What's up, Hyodo-kun? Yeah, he didn't seem to have the mood. What's up with Hyodo-kun? One of the girls questioned. Yeah, he didn't seem to have the mood at all. The first question was asked from a brown-haired girl with twin-sided ponytails that was past her shoulders. Each were held by a red ribbon in the front of her hair and two large bangs that go past her shoulders. To the latter asked the girl with peach-colored hair. Her shoulder-length hair and wears a blue headband. Asia only shook her head and gave her a forced smile. It's nothing to worry about, um, Moriyama and Katase-san. Issei-san is being a little tired. Kiba were walking to the club room after they entered the old house. When they arrived in the front door, Kiba noticed something. For me to only able for me to only be able to realize this presence at here. Don't tell me you didn't notice, Issei thought, looking at Kiba's what do you call expression. Kiba's seriousness in the room was Konoko, Rias, Akuno, and Grafia. Rias was very um, Rias had a very unpleasant face in her expression. Konoko is smiling like usual, but she had a cold vibe. Akuno had a cold vibe, smiling as usual. Konoko was sitting in a chair at the corner, quietly down on at the floor, not wanting to get involved in others' matters much. Well, Issei was not surprised when he saw Grafia, but um, sweating a little as he was staring at him. Well, he did kiss the next heir of the Grammary house, but in his defense, it was Rias that made the move. Ojo-sama, do you want to explain the situation? Rias rejected the offer and waved her hand. This is true. Rias that the truth is, Rias tried to explain. Issei widened his eyes. Issei said, someone's coming. The members of the Occult Research Club, including Grafia, widened their eyes. Grafia, however, was not surprised at Issei's statement, but at himself. This boy has great senses, too. He's able to detect someone arriving before the teleportation circle even emerged. Sorry, I'm gonna rush a bit because, the maid's here and she has to clean the house, so it might disturb. Tell me if you like this part. I'll finish this in a little bit. Phoenix Clan. Oh, my lovely Rias, I've come for you. Both Rias and Issei narrowed their eyes at the same time. Now then, Rias, let's go and take a look at the ceremony hall. Since the date of the ceremony has been decided, we need to go and check then. The guy then just grabbed Rias's hand and started pulling her. Let me go, Riser. One second. So yes, you know, so this is Rise of Phoenix. Issei mentally noted, narrowing his eyes. He went up and grabbed Riser's hand. Issei decided to button. Sir, I believe that you're hurting my master. Please kindly remove your hand from her. Issei spoke in a firm tone, grabbing Riser's hands. Everyone, including Grafia and their hearts, stopped and saw Issei grab Riser's hand. What do you want? Issei said, pissed at the lower class devil he thought. But hey, this guy a real original demon mother heller. The high class devil was too prideful to even notice Issei's presence because he wasn't trying to sense it right now. But he lost his words when he saw the person grabbing his hand. He noticed it when he actually fully saw Issei. Is that the boy from the last time that had that off presence? By the way, last time somebody said that why, make him a devil reincarnated because to get him the chess pieces so he can be the part of the Parage. That only happened. Nothing else changed in him. You! Pointing his index finger back at Issei. You two know each other? Ria's question. No. No. I've never seen him before. Riser looked away and dusted his hand at the part where Issei just grabbed him. Issei smirked at Riser's denial but kept quiet. Then Rias decided to introduce Riser to Issei, not knowing that he already knew the former who the former one is. Hiro Issei-sama, this is Riser Phoenix, right? I heard things about him. Both Grafia and Riser widened their eyes after hearing that, but chose to remain quiet. Ria sat on the couch while Riser sat next to her. He he sat his hand on Ria's shoulder, but the latter kept on shaking his hand off, feeling disgust, but did not demotive Riser at all. He kept on touching her hair, hand, and shoulder. Issei's eyes twitched and witnessing his master being harassed by the high-class stalker. One slide of him admired Reyes for not even explosive, for not even being explosive yet. The other side of him wanted to beat the crap out of this damn stalker. The tea made by Reyes' queen is sure tastes wonderful. Riser praised Takano's tea. Thank you very much, Akano said in a carrier tone in it, but Riser was too stupid to notice it. Wayne started to pop out of Reyes' head as she could no longer take it. She stood up and sat on this, sat on the shoat at Riser. And she stood up from where she sat and shouted at Riser. What the frick am I saying? Sorry, guys. Stop it already, Riser. I said it before. I'll say it again. I will not marry you. I heard that before, but Reyes, that won't do. In this situation for your household, it's quite serious. Riser smirked and continued to talk with smug on his face. The newly produced devils, the ones like your servants, reincarnated devils, exception of Issei, nobody knows right now. He'll explain after the rating game. Spoilers, by the way. You're expanding in terms of strength, but that would make us the high-class devils in the older history background lose our place, and the old nobles who get close to the reincarnated devils become because they are very powerful. Well, that might be all right. The newly produced devils are also important for our future. But we can't allow the pureblood devils to go extinct, right? Nobody knows, his blood right now except Tennant. So, yes. My house is safe because I have my older brother, but there is only two siblings in your house, and your brother is the one who left the house. And that would only mean Reyes, who will inherit the Gremory house. Besides, both your father and brother are afraid that the household will become extinct. We lost a lot of great pureblood devils in the last war, including Sir Meliodas. All of them respect him, but nobody knows his true nature. He only saw the serious side. He only showed his goofy side to his friends. And people close to him. Rias, I'll remind you again. You are the future of the heir of the House of Gremory. If you don't take a husband, the House of Gremory will go extinct in your generation. Are you trying to crush the house that has been continuing for very long? Because the past war, there are only half of the number of devils were referred as 72 pillars. We're not even sure if the son of Meliodas and Elizabeth is still alive. Yes, that boy had quite a lot of power, I must say. But nobody knows it's Issei right now. Boy, Graphia looked at Issei questioningly because he reminded her of, Meliodas and Elizabeth a lot. White hair, Meliodas shaped hair type of hairstyle with the red eyes. Interesting. Issei-sama looks a lot similar, Graphia thought, to Meliodas and Elizabeth, but she discarded that thought as he was reincarnated as a devil. She knew that reincarnations could work and only the pieces would go to the person. They wouldn't be turned into a devil if they are higher than a devil, like a demon. Okay, what do you call? I will not crush my house. I'm I am willing to take a husband, said it out loud, while taking a quick peek at Issei. The latter, however, did not notice, as he was processing the information, but Graphia caught Rias's action. Ah, as I expected from Rias, then let's go. Riser smiled, finishing his tea. But I will never marry you, Riser. I'll marry someone I acknowledge. Even devils and older noble houses have the right to choose. Right? Issei smiled at hearing his master's resolve. You know what, Rias? I too am a devil who carries the name of the House of the Phoenix behind me. I can't have my name being trashed, and I don't even want to come to this tiny old building in the human world. I'm a proud phoenix who resembles the rules fire and wind. However, fire and wind in this world is filthy. For me, someone high class to visit this disgusting place, I cannot stand it. Riser fire started to appear on Rise's body. Their killing intent was hostility, causing everyone the killing intent and hostility, causing everyone in the room to get into a fighting stance except Issei and Graphia. Rias will take Rias, I'll take you back to the underworld, even if I have to burn all of your servants. Don't you dare threaten them, Rias said loudly at Riser. Rias's aura appeared from red aura appeared from Rias's body. Riser ignored Rias's increase in demonic power. The fire started to cover his body, going all around him back to his wings of fire. He then raised his right hand and coated his hand in fire. Aiming at Rias's servant, he shot out a big fireball enough to engulf the group of servants. Graphia was about to interfere, but something stopped her. Issei grinned and took a step forward, opened his hand, took out a stick, and said, "Full counter," under his breath. You know, the dun, a sound happened, a thud, like a fireball going hard, like a boom sound. The fireball went twice as large at Riser. It didn't affect him because it was his flames, but yeah. If it was a little more powerful, if Issei put his fire into it, Riser would surely be damaged. What the? His hand got a little damaged, and his clothes were a little torn. Issei, Issei-kun, Issei-senpai. Everybody was shocked at what Issei saw when Issei stepped to the fire. completely forgetting how strong he actually is. Even Riser widened his eyes at Issei's actions. Everyone withstood Issei's actions, as they all thought that Issei was shielding Akono, Kiba, and Konoko. Ha! At least that one devil is eager to die. Within a second, Riser... Damn you, Riser said, looking at his clothes and burnt hand, and some of his burnt skin. How did you hurt me with my own flames? Don't worry about that, Issei said, playfully. Uh, Riser, only what do you call insulted Issei, and um um everyone widened their eyes at what they witnessed. The fireball shrinked. No, the fireball increased twice as time. The fireball Riser launched and hit him dead and reflected off Issei's stick. Issei's stick burned in his hands. Issei inhaled. Issei reflected it? What? Huh. Disappointed at Riser's fireball. Riser-sama, I didn't want to say this, but your fire is very, very weak. The last month, I think it was the last month I caught him. Well, oh, not much, but that's what I'd expect from a stalker. The whole room felt silent. Everyone widened their eyes at Issei proclaiming Riser for being a stalker. Who are you calling stalker, you lowly devil? You should know your place and shut up. Issei, what do you mean when you said Riser is a stalker? Issei directly completing ignoring Riser. The last month I found out that he was spying on you, Buncho, with his familiar. I believe it was a red-feathered chicken. It was sitting on the tree branch outside this window, walking over to the window and pointing at the tree branch. He set a bait, waiting for Riser to catch it, and insulting Riser's familiar as a chicken. It's not a chicken, it was a phoenix, you idiot. Ha! Issei, yep, not knowing that he just took the bait. Issei grinned when he heard that. Riser covered his mouth with both his hands. Unconsciously, Rias wrapped her hands around her body and looked at Riser with great disgust. Everybody in this room looked at Riser with great disgust. I'm not stalking. It's called observing. Rises counted, or observing someone without their permission. Riser sent death glares at Issei, trying to send a message that he was telling him to shut up. But Issei ignored it. Grafia stepped in the conversation again. Lord Gremory, Zersek-sama, and those from the House of Phoenix know it and would turn out like this. Knew it and it would turn out like this. Everyone knew it, that it wouldn't solve peacefully. So they decided to make a last resort. A last resort? What do you mean, Grafia? Rias raised her eyebrow. Ojo-sama pushed your opinion forwards to how to settle this with a rating game against Riser-sama. Rias became speechless hearing Grafia's son. She seemed to be very shocked. Issei went and put a thinking app again, a rating game. Where did I hear? She said, a rating game. Okay, interesting. So we're doing that. You already know? Yeah, I read some of the books. Oh, alright. Grafia-sama, if Buncho wins the rating game. Well, alright. What if Buncho wins the rating game? If Ojo-sama wins the rating game, she would do whatever she likes. Riser added as he smirked. That's it. That is, if she wins. Issei looked at Rias. Buncho, can you hear me? Issei telepathically was talking to Rias. Issei, is that you? Are you talking into my head? Issei nodded. Buncho, take the deal. This is your ticket to your freedom. Are you sure? Issei nodded again. Hey Brad, is something wrong with your head? Riser asked Issei completely ignoring and continuing. Remember what I said last night? I'll always stand by and fight beside you. I'll shoulder all your burden. Right? Issei grinned a little. Rias blushed and remembered the scenario. She shook her head, looking at Grafian with determination in her eyes. I accept the offer. We can settle this in the rating game. He, what do you call? Grafia widened her eyes at Rias's confidence. Hiro Issei must have done something, Grafia thought. What about you, Riser-sama? Will you accept and the preparations in the rating game? Riser just closed his eyes and smirked. If Rias is accepting it, I don't mind. Since I'm already a mature devil, and I have already participated in official rating games and won most of them. I'll play with me. Let you still want to play with me, Rias? I never even. You've never even participated in an official rating game before. You have little to zero experience in real rating games. You choose to win. Your chances of winning against me is very slim. Ha 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 ha. Riser arrogantly started to get into his head. Don't you dare mock my master, Riser-sama. I won't forgive you even if you say it any further. Who dares threaten him? Issei was currently glaring at him with both his pupils and irises contracted, somewhat turning dark instead of their original red color. You know, that was shocking everybody in the room. He got mad. He really got mad. A strong, pressure burst out of him, causing the others to go to the ground a little bit. Even Grafia was surprised at the pressure that Issei was throwing. Issei-sama, please calm down a bit. Also, please remember your current position, she calmly said. Yes, right now, before he hasn't revealed his true identity, he is right now a servant of Ria's Grammary, a lower class devil. That's right, I know. That's right, know your place, lowly devil. There is no way that you have enough power to threaten me. His pride and arrogance blinding Riser. Riser, let's face it, Riser was an asshole before, he freaking got, fixed by Issei. That's right, I know you. Grafia, however, said it out bluntly. No, Riser-sama. The power that Issei-sama gave out was exceeding yours. I'm only saying that to protect you, and I sense that he has seals on him keeping his power dampened more. But Riser looked at Grafia with a shocking expression. A lower class devil like him? Have more power than me and have seals on him too? To dampen his power more? Impossible, Riser thought, looking at Grafia and the group. Grafia decided to take a leave, but before she did, Ojo-sama, I will be there once in charge of the rating game between the two houses. Is that okay? Yeah, that's fine. With it? That's fine, I'm fine with it. Very well, I understand. I shall inform the two households then. At the moment, Grafia teleported away. Grafia is no longer in the club room. Riser looked at Rias, her servants, then smirked. His smirk really pissed everyone off. Hey Rias, don't tell me that there are your servants. Both Issei and Rias' eyes twitched up the earring. What about it? What's wrong with my servants? Ha 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 ha. Riser started to laugh and he said, This match is going to be a laugh. You only have 4 servants and yourself. You only have 5 servants and yourself. 1 bishop, the priestess of thunder, a pawn, a knight, and a rook. Ha. And Riser had with a click of his tongue, caused a circle to appear, and a total of 15 women appeared from the circle. Now do you see, Rias? These are my cute servants, Riser introduced. The 15 of them all didn't look anything special to Issei. Issei starting to analyze them. The first one is a busty woman with long, wavy purple hair. You know, Riser's queen, basically. I'm not gonna go into too depth. You know. The top ravel, much of her curves, with golden choker and blue-red jewels over a white overcoat and black and golden accents. For us associate, sir, she was wearing a black headband. Oh God, I'm not gonna describe all of Paraj members. Sorry. You know, Issei sniffed a little. Hey, stalker! Don't call me stalker, you lowlife. This is not a way a lowlife devil should like you should talk to a higher class devil like me. Rias, did you ever discipline your servants at all? Like I care. Rias look away and said, "How about it, fried chicken, then?" Issei said in a serious face, changed the nickname. The room was completely silent. Oh, womanizer. Fried turkey? Either grilled turkey or grilled chicken, Issei stated, giving Riser different new nicknames. Rias pewed back, trying to cover herself from laughing out loud, covering both her mouth with both her hands. Even Akano, Kiba, and Konoko find it hard not to laugh. But Riser was really pissed at Issei for embarrassing him. He really wanted to kill Issei. How dare he speak to Riser-sama like that? You know, the original pawn, you know, that's kicked Issei's ass, you know, tried to do. Does he have no manner? Said he needs to be taught properly. Riser's girls started to get angry at Issei and disrespecting their master. Riser ordered one of his servants coldly, "Cyril, do it." The tall young woman with long black hair and dark blue tint, with brown eyes, her hair further 5 tin ponytails going around her head, which was held up by a golden hair accessory on top of her hair. She wearing a white top and a black accent modeled after Chinese kahongamis. Sorry, I don't know how to spell that. Red shorts and armored with knee-high boots and matching gauntlets. There was a red diamond-shaped crest area giving her a view of the breast and her cleavage. Issei noticed the servant that was walking towards him, called Siri, has a giant Zivander mounted on her back. It was a black blade with silver endings that had a black hilt and red handle. Issei deducted that she was Riser's knight. Cerise brought her right hand and back to rush Issei with her weapon, waiting for the knight to strike. Within 1 second, Ceres brought within 2 seconds, Ceres brought Zevander down to strike Issei. Rias and his servant, shocked at seeing Ryza trying to kill Issei. Rias didn't say anything because she knows a pathetic attack like this can't kill her Issei. Her Issei? Where did that come from? Rias thought. The sound of the sword hitting the floor was heard. But Sirius Zevander never touched the ground. Everyone and the club, almost all, eyes widened when what Issei did brings both shock and surprise to everyone. He stops the Zevander with just a finger. Yay, right? With his pinky finger, he stopped Zeres' Zevander from reaching him. She tried to put more force into it, but she had to step back. You're going to need a lot more than to cut me down, grilled chicken. Ryza just turned and turned to look at Rias. I'll give you, Rias, how about we have this match intended? Are you giving you a handicap? Are you against it? Is it a handicap? Rating games isn't something simple that you can win by only your feelings. If you can't use your servant's powers to the fullest, then you'll lose immediately. So I'm not worried that you'll train your servants for the rating game. I have seen battles who lost without using their power. I've seen devils that lost battles without using their powers to the fullest countless times, no matter how great their potential and power was. 10 days. If it's you, you should be able to improve your servants. Pawn of Rias, don't be a disgrace to Rias. Your blow is Rias's blow. Stayed quiet and looked at thinking about Ryzer's words. Ryzer, the next time we meet will be the rating game. Saying that Ryzer said to Rias. The light magic circle appeared around him and his servants. Oh, I didn't get to ask, grilled chicken. Why did he make... Oh, I didn't ask to get grilled chicken. Why did he make his sister one of his servants? Issei muttered to himself as he remembered his unanswered question. And that's where we end off. I hope you liked this part. I know this was really long, and I hope you like the background music, and thank you for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it.